I know there's time left, but I don't want to wait. So, hey everyone, and welcome to Thursday CTO Simple Library Hangout time. I gotta find a shorter title for that. Maybe someone has ideas for abbreviations, leave them in the chat for me to think about something to shorten the title of these Thursday streams. I got my coffee, I got my water, I'm ready to roll. No cerveza today. We have a little bit of stuff to explore, so why don't we jump straight in? Going there, music is off, thank you. Again, in Studio One, I'm currently honestly really enjoying Studio One for a number of reasons that I will maybe go in at some other time. But anyway, the thing is, coffee most important, absolutely. Yeah, we have one of the developers of one of the products that we're looking at today in the chat. Say hi to Ocean Swift, and that's also going to be the first one that we jump into. So what are we looking at today? Let me quickly open up these pages. So number one is what we're going to look at today is Porphyra hybrid by Ocean Swift in working together with Alessandro Mastroianni from Sonora Cinematic. This is one of the first truly Contact 8 libraries, so you need Contact 8 for that. Long story short, is by Ocean Swift synthesis is a cutting-edge Contact instrument that seamlessly merges sample and wavetable subtractive synthesis. Oh god. Featuring over 500 sampled sounds and 200 wavetables, it offers extensive sonic exploration and advanced wavetable manipulation. The instrument integrates state-of-the-art Contact 8 features, a powerful effect section, and supports polyphonic aftertouch for expressive performances, with deep NKS2 integration for intuitive control and compatibility with free Contact player. Right now for €79.99 regular price, and they just released an update. I already have the update. I got this this morning. Thanks for sending that over. And it's the last day of the intro alpha, by the way, as well. One thing that I'm not sure, maybe Ocean Swift can help out. Here it says 1.01. In the video it says 1.1. So it's definitely an update. And I think it's 1.1 that it said in native access as well. Just making sure that I'm not misrepresenting anything here. So yeah, $79 right now for one more day. Yes, it's 1.1. Yeah, I just saw the official announcement on VI Control that the 1.1 has been released. So that's what we're going to look at today, which is great. So as usual, my disclaimer in the beginning, actually I want to talk about all the stuff that we're going to look at today first and then dive in. So next, what we're going to look at today, I scratched just a little bit of the surface last time, but I want to dig a little deeper. Westwood Instruments have released Alt Choir, which I want to take a deeper look at today as well. And last but not least, if time allows, I did get me the Crow Hill glass strings. So if we have time, I'm going to jump into these. For the other two, I did get copies for these libraries from the developers. So these are NFR copies. I didn't pay for them. But nevertheless, everything I say and think and talk about with these libraries is my own thoughts, and nobody has any influence on that. So I just give you my honest opinion from a working composer's perspective, what I think about this stuff. And you got to make up your own mind whether that is something for you. I try to play as much as possible out of these libraries to get you an idea of what they sound like and if it's something for you. That applies to Porphyra and the Westwood instruments. I did buy the glass strings from Crow Hill, so there has been just a lot of buzz around these lately and not much content online, so I figured maybe we just have a little play with that as well. Long story short, sorry for all the talk. Without further ado, let's jump into Porphyra. For some reason, I always want to call it Polyphia. I don't know why. So, like I said, it's a Contact 8 library. It comes with a free Contact player, so you don't need to own the full version. And if you want to make it shorter with a search for it, you can just click here, Ocean Swift. There we go, Porphyra. And the 1.1 update has just been released today. And without further ado, let's open the initial instrument and just have a little bit of a play with it, shall we? So, just making sure that I see everything correctly and that you can hear everything correctly, more importantly. I hope everything is working out fine. Let me know if there's any issues. If I play something, can you hear this? I hope so. Also, quick disclaimer, the sounds that I'm going to play are out of the box. It's only running through my master chain with a little bit of limiting at the end to just make sure that we have a proper volume level. So other than that, these sounds are untreated and untouched and right out of the library. So first patch loads up as this. If we look closely, there's a little reminder of Halloween today. I don't know how long that is going to stay. If that has been brought in with a timer attached to it and it's going to leave the interface tomorrow, I don't know. But funny little point. Unfortunately, I still have the MK2 complete control keyboard, so I don't have polyphonic aftertouch, so I cannot really showcase polyphonic aftertouch thingies with the stuff that I have here. Sorry for that. But all Easter eggs are one day. Okay, gotcha. So I just gotta move that chat a little bit over here so I can see when someone is saying something. Yeah, so playing first sound. This one is not mod wheel controllable. We'll talk about that in a second. Everything can be assigned, etc. So that's coming in a little bit. Before we do anything, let's play a bunch of presets. So we have the initialize presets, and then we have 3 preset developers: Alessandro Mastriani from Sonora Cinematic, Fernando Abro, and Yaron Eshka. Sorry if I butcher your names there. So let's start with Alessandro's patches. So bass. I am at 88. Let's go to 110. So, to be honest, no, I'm talking a little bit. Let's explore a few presets. All the effects that you hear are from the instrument itself. There is no sound effects externally attached to that. Let's go. I'm not playing all the presets, but just a quick selection. And I know that I saved one preset in the keys category already. Tasty. Tasty. If you're German, you know what that means. You gotta be careful with this guy with a lot of voices playing. It can be a little bit intimidating on the CPU if you play too many notes. If we look at the CPU meter here, it can get a little busy. So let's quickly talk about what are we looking at. So this instrument is a combination of wavetable synthesis and a sample player, or sample synthesis. There's a little bit of noise going on, which is coming right now from the replica tape here. Put the H down, that noise is going away. So left wavetable, right sample, and in the middle we have that big knob which blends between these two portions of the sound, and you can blend that interactively, learn that to mod wheel. Just talking about which one way would be to right click and say learn MIDI CC automation, but you also have the options page where you have a bunch of different setups for your controllers. So in this case, for the wheel, we can tell the wheel that it controls the layer, the mix AB. You have to turn that on, and I think if I go back now, yeah, now mod wheel controls the layer. I don't know if there's anything different if I do it via MIDI learn. So if I turn that off and don't have it, I can still right click MIDI learn, and I think that's the same effect. So either way, I think is fine. And right now with this sound that we just played, so the sample layer seems to be just some kind of noise on this patch, on this specific patch. So the meat of the sound is coming from the wavetable here, from a saw in this case. I want to quickly address something, maybe a disclaimer, but also something about my own mindset when approaching a library like this. I was talking via email with the developer a little bit back and forth about it, getting the 1.1 update, etc. And I know these guys are really hyped about the release, and I'm very happy for them that it's out in the world. But I, for myself, I look at this from a simply working composer perspective, from a utilize the sound perspective, and I'm not a synth programmer. What I want to say is I watched a bunch of these videos, and a bunch of the stuff that he was talking about went over my head like miles. So I apologize. It's just so this thing it's like learning to drive in a Ferrari. Like, this thing can do so much, and I have no idea how to showcase that. When it comes to synthesizers, I am a how to say that? I'm a preset, right? And so there is exactly as he's just writing in the chat. That's why they have a huge selection of snapshots and presets available for you to play with, which is what I'm going to do today. I just wanted to point out that I am not a synth programmer, and I might not cover this as in depth as it would be sufficient for an instrument like that. So we're going to go through a few of the presets, and I show what I would use for in my workflow and how I would use it. So nevertheless, what I want to do is quickly go through some of the functions as far as I at least understood them. So you can initialize the preset, and then you basically have nothing going on besides a simple sine wave on both sides. So then you have a wide range of, actually let's bring the wheel all the way to the left, so we're just listening to the wavetables right now. So that's a simple sine wave. That's as simple as it gets when it comes to synthesis. And here with a cycle, which is the waveform, you can select quite a few, right? So there's a huge selection of waveforms available for you to play with. Just going through some of these. I think you get the idea. That's core synthesizer understanding. Bunch of different waveforms that we can then further mingle and transform. So for example, we can change the unison type. Not unison, we can make it stereo at least. Unison is something else. And we can modulate the waveform. First of all, we have this inharmonic button, which I did not really understand, to be honest. Sorry, doorbell rang. It's Halloween. So, gotta make sure that I mute my mic for a second. And then, again, I'm not going too deep into these controls as I am not a synth programmer, but you can shape the wavetables and do a bunch of funny stuff with them. And of course, you can automate that via LFO, for example. So right at the bottom right here, we have the low frequency oscillator. Right now, number 1 is set to mix AB, but we can send this to the wavetable width, for example, what I just did manually. And then we can tell it with a rate of, say, 1/8 notes and a square wave. So now it's automating the width parameter. One thing that I would love to see is the whatever parameter is automated, to see the automation, to kind of see a little bit movement or something, that this is run by the LFO. Right now, I don't see any visual feedback that this LFO is controlling the width here. Just something that I remember from other synth, that at least it's possible to see what is being modulated. That might be something for a future update. Okay, turning off the modulation here on this. Not going there. All right. I would recommend, if you want to go deeper on these type of sounds and how you can shape them further, I would go onto their website or onto their YouTube channel. There is great explanation, more in depth on that. So next to these basic cycle waveforms, we have other tables. So I can see how that can be very useful in shaping your own sounds. If you are more into sound design, there's just a myriad of sounds to choose from. Let's move that over to the other side. I forgot, next to the wavetables, we also have users, so we can drop our own user wavetables in here as well. On the other side, we have samples. The cycle folder is the same as the cycle folder here, with the same waveforms. But then we have a bunch of more selections to choose from. We have analog waveforms. Then we have digital. This has some of my favorites, to be honest. Right. Then after that, we have organic. I think this is where the collaboration with Alessandro Mastriani comes in. These are organic recorded source samples, violins, bassoon, vocals, things like that. So let's listen to a few examples here. Keep in mind, what I'm playing right now is the raw waveform. No treatment, no filter, no effects, whatever. Just the plain raw waveform. So for example, on something like this, what we could do is we could say, okay, you control the amplitude of layer B, and I could put that on a square wave with a 1/8 note rate, and this way or with a 1/4 note rate. And then I could play around with the amplitude ADSR curve, which gives me just reading. If you play one of LP's samples, this is the voice of my former colleague El Pinky Papa, who today is a product manager at Avid. Small fun. All right, cool. I'm going to check that out in a second. Just want to quickly see. So when I play around with the amplitude curve here with the ADSR, so I can get rid of the click a little bit with I need to have the sustain up. So yeah, that's the basic principle of how an LFO works in that regard. So what was the name of the sample? LP. So if we check LP, so that's the product manager at Avid right now. Right? So these are all organic sound sources. Right? Then last but not least, we have Phenom. I haven't even checked these yet. So sound sources over sound sources. The question is, what are we going to do with that? So besides noise, obviously we're going to use, and we can drop user samples as well. So then we have an effect section, creative effects, which is fuzz, distortion, dirt, bite, gator, modulation effects, chorus, phaser, flanger, etc. Delay, which is the standard Native Instruments contact delays, replica, twin and psych, and reverb now also has Raum, which is cool, great effect. Galois, I don't even know what that is. Galois, never tried that. And regular plate reverb. And options, we're going to look at that in a second again. So that is the initialize patch. What I like is they included a bunch of extra initialize patches to create where some things are already preset, like for example the envelope filter, the ADS arc curves, if you for example want to create pads or something ambient. So we can go here, and now we already have that like ebb and swell for the sounds. So that's cool. So let's go in here and choose something from the table. No, not feedback. Additive. No more. Let's go with a simple smooth square wave. Okay. What I'm gonna add is a filter. So here I'm going with the letter low pass 2. Let's see. Okay, that works. So that is filtering the sound. Can add a little bit of saturation, and let's go to the other side, to the sample, and look for digital, for example. I think the super reactor was already pretty great. Daft is probably the best quality filter, so let's try the Daft. So, and what I want to have is some kind of swell open and closing with the filter. So I'm going to go to the LFO and say, you're going to control my filter cut. So basically what I want the LFO to do is this. Right? But I don't want to manually move that filter knob. So I'm going to put this on an LFO. I'm going to use a sine wave. Rate, maybe we do 2 bars. And I don't want to go bonkers with that. So I don't want to have that all the way up so it kind of opens up the filter all the way. Kind of like that. That's not what I want to do. I want to have that rather subtle, and the speed, we can do a bit more speed, like 4/1. Right? So that works nicely. And back to the original sample, we have the smooth square here. So let's create another LFO that is going to move between A and B back and forth. So let's do a sine wave as well. Maybe we do that 8/1. Let's see. So like this. And on the filter, maybe we can open it up a tad more. I'm going to turn the release down a little bit. Don't need 5 seconds. That's a little long. And let's go to the effects. Let's add a little bit of replica cloud diffusion. modulation. And let's add a little bit of realm. There's presets here that we can choose. So let's go with orbital. I like that. So back to the main page here. Just a simple pad that we kind of created. Oh, okay, following the information there. Take this, go in the wavetable mod oscillator, wavetable mod oscillator mod. Okay. Change mod tune to XY. Wait a second. Oh, type to FM. Mod type to FM. XY. Hey Remco. FM depth to velocity in the options. Oh God. Velocity. No, what did he say? On modulation page, map the FM depth to velocity. Like I said, I'm not a synth programmer. I'm feeling overwhelmed. What do you want me to do? On the modulation page. Right here. No. X wave. XAB. In this menu to wavetable. Oh God. I am overwhelmed. What? Options, velocity, wavetable. Oh, options, velocity, wavetable. Wavetable. Oh, wavetable. There we go. Morph, and now you want me to change the modulation frequency. Let's see. Just see what happens. FM depth. Find FM depth. Okay, I'm searching. It only says M depth. Ah, okay. I gotcha. Again, this is exactly why I rely on people to program patches for me, so that is all set up and all I have to do is play, because I would never have the time or the patience to sit down and go that deep under the hood into a synth. So I'm not the best to showcase a synth library when it comes to its programming capabilities. So thanks for the help there. Absolutely. I think my realm effect is a little too heavy. So let's take the decay down a little bit. So we spend a lot of time now programming our own patch. It is a nice pad sound, and you have some initialize presets for other development. By the way, I did ambient. There's pad as well, and for lead patches for bell sounds. So you get different curves on the ADSR, which gives you bell sound straight out of the gate, out of the box. But let's explore some more presets, which is the best way to explore a library, in my opinion, if you're not a programmer. So let's check out some pads. That was louder than I expected. Sorry for that. It does sound very synthy, very digital at times. But I can see a lot of use for these type of sounds. But I have to be honest, I'm using a lot of not gonna bash on other developers. I mean, we all know that there's other products on there. So I use a lot of Diva and Zebra, and I love them for this kind of semi-analog warm vibe. A lot of these presets to me have a little bit more of that digital coldness to it, and there are numerous occasions where that's a sound that is called for. But that's one of the things that I realize. I find that some of these presets are very digital sounding. Don't get this as a critique in any kind of way. I think that's just a matter of personal taste. Ready for Halloween? That's very rich sounding. I like that. Let's check out some of Yaren's patches. We have leads. Am I still in the leads category? Yes. Oh, sorry. There seems to be a little audio blip when I change the presets and play too early. So better is to wait for the patch to load before playing. Let's check some more. Padscapes, Poly Aftertouch. Yeah, again, I don't have Poly Aftertouch on my system here, so let's check out some of the rhythmic patches. For warm sound, I will enjoy Fernando's stuff for the keys. Okay, well, just one key? Patch. Oh yeah. So you can play poly aftertouch patches even without poly aftertouch. Makes sense, of course. Okay, there's a few more. Nice little overtone in there. Yeah, very FM-y. FM sound. One might argue a little bit that that looks oh, there's a gator on here. Some of these presets have a lot of reverb baked in. Yeah, just going through some more. Let's try out the padscapes. Nice. So let's go through some of your presets, Yaron. So let's check out some basses. I think what I meant before with that it does sound a little bit. I think it's based on the fact that I feel that FM synthesis has its very own sound signature, and I'm hearing that a lot in these instruments. And I think there's a significant difference between that sound aesthetic and analog style, warmer, Moog type sounds, etc. It's a much different sound aesthetic, and I'm personally drawn more to the warmer analog stuff than to the digital stuff. But it definitely has its use cases, and if you get a little bit more modern, you need these type of gnarly knart spaces. But I am personally more of a fan of that more round sound. I mean, the bass is amazing in this one. Ooh, I like that. So if you put the rate on the mod wheel, you can oh, the good old days. So just a small selection of these bass sounds. Then we have bell sounds, which is obviously also very oh, I'm still have that mod wheel on the pitch. Sorry. So some digital bell sound there, and last but not least, let's check out some leads from Yaron's folder. Who has time for that much of delay? Maybe one of the reasons why I'm also, again, I'm not complaining about the sounds, but I don't do much EDM and electronic music and things like that. So that is just way out my comfort zone. Can totally see this much more usable in electronic dance music production. I'm always looking at sounds with that like cinematic glasses on, because that's where most of my work is sitting in, and sometimes it might be a little bit misjudgmental looking at a library through that lens, when initially there's a lot of great amazing sounds that are just serving a different sound aesthetic or a different purpose. mod with the pitch bend is set to 12 semitones. So if I do that to 2, I got the standard range. Lead sound. That's a funny one. Hey, Torsten. And last but not least, what I want to say or check with the new update 1.1, there's now a bunch of combined instruments, which makes use of Contact's chord feature and advanced tools that we have here, which currently are the chords and the phrases. So this update brings a bunch of new instruments that are combined with the chords tool, for example, in Contact 8. So let's check some of these. So that loads up a chord tool and in this case a cinematic intro, the pad sound. And so if you don't know how that works, I recommend looking at a bunch of videos on Contact 8. So these are new tools that were implemented in Contact 8, which give you the former control keyboard capability of utilizing chords or scales and arpeggiators and things like that within Contact. So basically it is 7 chords that you can play with a single key, and a single key will then play that mentioned chord. So if we go to my tasty keyboard set here, so you get a bunch of different chords. You could technically go in and change any of these individual chords as well, or you could change an entire chord set and try it with something else. So I guess these are meant as starting points. Checking out one more else. A set ADRs. And then there's other patches, what I'm not really sure, that don't have a note next to them. I think they don't come with, yeah, these are like combined patches of different instruments. Kind of like multis, so combining different instruments into one, combined out of different layers or different individual instruments. So in this case, Blade Runner. Nice. Again, lots of reverb. Let's check out Burnt Ash. Under Porphyra Nights. So let's check this one as a last one. And again, lots of reverb. So there's tons and tons and tons of presets. I talked about the sound aesthetic overall. Really cool. $79 right now. One more day on intro price. I'm going to post the link to the website as well. You need Kontakt 8 for that. It does come with a Kontakt player, so no need to buy the full version of Kontakt. And that shall conclude our little look at Porphyra Hybrid. So, jumping on, next in line today, one after the other, it goes bang, 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 bang. Next one, please, which is going to be, actually, I'm just going to take this and move this down here. Next one, we are going to look at Westwood Instruments Alt Choir, which has been released just last week. And I want to make sure that I'm sending this all to the right destinations. So just bear with me for a sec, because I didn't save a preset for my vocals. So there we go. Actually, I don't need these. Alt Choir is fine. So reset this multi, resetting, and let's go to Westwood Instruments Alt Choir. What is it before we jump in there? Alt Choir has been released last week. I covered Westwood Instruments a bunch of times on the channel already. Intro price €195, €279 regular price. it is, let's quickly read the headline. The connection between your music and the human voice, a groundbreaking choir sample library embracing the raw human essence of vocal performance. This is not a typical choir library, it's an immersive experience that captures the authenticity of a group of real people singing together. 16 vocalists from a range of musical influences, a blended sound between the classical and the contemporary. This is a set of incredible vocal performances that you can't get anywhere else. Ready to breathe emotion into your scores, soundtracks, and cinema-inspired music. So I posted the link. Thanks for this. Again, this library was sent to me by Westwood Instruments ahead of release, so I had some time to play around with it. Let's make this quick. Westwood Instruments, here we go. Alt Choir. Load this up. Again, straight out of the box, no further processing, just the sounds as they come out of the library. It's still loading, I guess. First patch may take a little moment. Yeah, there we go. It is loaded, and thanks for taking the time. Of course, you're very, very welcome. Thanks for giving us an opportunity to showcase the library, and congrats on the release. I forgot to mention that's a debut release. First library from Ocean Swift. All right, what do we have? We have ensemble patches, sopranos, altos, tenors, basses, and textures. Let's start with the ensemble patch. As we can see, we have tons of different articulations. If you are familiar with any other Westwood instrument, the interface looks pretty familiar. So we have effect settings, setup, information panel, who is behind the library. We have expression and dynamics. Wow is different, VOW, because it's a choir library and we have vowels that we can phase through or modulate or morph through. We'll look at that. We have our mic positions, mix, microphone, close, room, and gallery. Loads up with the mix position, and we have a reverb baked in here. Not baked in, added, that we can turn off as well. So, without further ado, we are on the improv part here, so let's just give it a play. Let's quickly look at this vowel slider. I haven't touched modulation and dynamics, so obviously let's try that first. So let's look at this wow slider. Right now it's not attached to any controllers, so I'm gonna put this on CC2. There we go. So now I can control all of these three at the same time. But let's not touch the expression and dynamics for now, and just concentrate on the vowel. Which basically seamlessly transitions between oo and ah. Sorry, muted the mic. And these improvs are not to be mistaken with your regular sustains. Gonna look at these. So there's more movement in the individual performance of a note. Let's check out these sustains in comparison. Right? So that are the sustains, and they introduced something new with this library, which is called episodes. And with the episodes, you can select the key that your cue that you're working on is in. So let's say my cue that I want to work on is in A major. So you see that there's a set of green keys now in the playable zone. If I change the key here to something else, you see that other keys turn green. So depending on the key that I select, and these keys contain random slides and articulations within the specified key scale of the key here. So for example, if I play just the, what is it, the F and G here, which is not part of the A major scale. Nothing happens. We just get the regular, I think it's the improvs. The other keys are improvs. But the green one, so let's go back to sustains quickly. If I play an improv on A major, so if I go back to episodes, now I'm playing the same notes. So you can immediately hear what the difference is. So now on selected notes, in this case, for example, let's compare the A. The improv A still has movement in it, but let's listen to the A from the episodes. Still just holding a key, so you get random movement in these notes, and selected notes within the key, so like on the C sharp. And these are also all not doing the same movement, so it sounds a little random overall. But it does create a very interesting texture in the background there. And then we have some keys that are not moving, like in this case, the B, for example, or the D. So if I play an A sus, or an A2, versus if I play the D major, the only movement now is happening on this A note because the D does not have movement and the F sharp here does not either. But I think it's a cool way to create some random movement in a choir performance, especially when you layer some of these together. This is in the ensemble, but we have these represented in the individual patches as well, which we'll look at. We have chatters. And as we can see, there's no vowel change on this one, so the vowel change is not available for all the patches. have short R's, O's, O's, and then we have these short waves with R, and O. These might be a good idea to actually take the m's. Really, really nice sound there. Let's quickly take these short articulations to check out the mic position. So the close sounds like this. The room. Actually, let's turn off the reverb. So listen just to the mic position. And take the R. Room. And the gallery. Yes, you can activate several patches at the same time. So back to the mix. If I hit Shift, I can select all three of these at the same time. So that makes it a little bit more thick in its texture. I can also play the sustains and the improvs at the same time. Versus just the improvs. Or just the sustains. I can even combine that with the episodes if I want to have the notes sticking on the key that I just chose. So for example, here now going with the A. It can get pretty thick sounding with layering these. And then these waves, we also have them in long. Okay, let's turn the reverb back on. Same again with and O. That's just a beautiful texture. I really like the sound of these. So let's check out some of the individual ones. I want to go to textures first. So what is textures? I think I have not even checked that yet. So we have a bunch of presets here. So, okay, textures are like synthesized patches based on the original recordings. So, yeah, sound design patches to get a little deeper. right? So these are the textures. Just want to quickly play them. Okay, let's look at the individual elements, starting with the basses. And what we will see is that some of the individual patches do have more articulations than the ensemble patch. So starting up with the basses. Don't know why they take so long to load, but I did not batch resave the library, so and we want to saving. So first of all, we see that we now have 2 windows to go through these articulations. There's a bunch of more. Again, the improvs. As we can see, no episodes on the basses. Remember, the episodes were the ones where they going up and down within the key. But contrary to the ensemble, we now have legato. The speed knob controls the speed of the legato, obviously. Although right from the get-go, these are not meant for fast passages. That legato is very smooth and very gentle, and you gotta work with the library here. It's not giving you very fast transitions with the vocals. I'll bring in a little bit of reverb here. A little bit of ah. I have to relearn that. There we go. Nice one. And then we have, and this legato is with the improv sustain, so you have a little more movement in the sustained note. And then you have the regular legato with the regular sustains. I wish they would go down to C, but E is the lowest that these basses did sing. I can always tune if need be. But if there would be a way to kind of, or maybe there is, I don't know, key switch position? No, there is not. If there would be a way to artificially extend the range, even if it's not natural, that might be cool to get a little bit more mileage out of it. So if I really have something where I need to go down to C, that will be helpful to have a little bit of a control over the range of the instrument. Not a necessity per se, but would be a nice to have kind of thing. Then we have the regular sustains, so the legato is off on these. No E flat there. Shatters. Sounds a little bit like Tibetan monks, like throat singing. And then we have the same as in the other articulations, the short R's. But then we have like a drone AO that morphs between the notes. kind of similar to what you can do yourself on the sustain. But here it's automated and like recorded. Then we have a drone fifth. These were not part of the ensemble patch. We have soft ums. They have a little bit like a swell. Then we have breathy sustains. That's very cool to have that choice. We have bassist percussion. So currently lots of reverb going on here. So dry would be. You know where this is going. Not gonna do that. And then we have these short waves. These were the ones we looked at with a ensemble already. Then tenors next in line, next to the basses. Cheers, water. Oh, yeah, again, I'm not really sure why there's such a long load time with these patches. I did not battery save. Same thing, extending range would be great. Tenors only to F sharp seems a little low to me. I would bring them to G, maybe A flat, even A should be doable for tenors. And here we go back to the episodes that we had before, and we have a few more than just on the ensemble patch. So if I go, for example, to D minor, best wishes to Hans, that would be... I would probably mix that with the sustains. So holding shift, then I get both of these. Put that on oo. So if I now play these sounds, I get the sustains held onto the chord and then these meandering notes, these episodes around it. Oh, nice rub there. little wonky there, so sometimes it might be not what you're expecting in terms of where the episodes are going. There's a little bit of certain unpredictability to it. But I mean, then again, you can always change to use the regular improv if there's an episode on a note that doesn't fit what you're doing. You're not forced to use it, right? And I really like these improvs for the movement that they provide in the sustained notes versus the regular sustains. Versus and same thing, we have the legato here again. Probably gonna put this on a controller again. I have to say, I feel that these transitions, these legato transitions are really, really smooth, especially the change between U and A. There is a little bit of a weird sound for me in the middle when both are playing. I don't know if it's phasing, I don't think so, but yeah, not a clear U, not a clear R. Ah. I wouldn't probably leave it all the way in the middle for a longer period of time. So that's the R's. Cheddar, same thing. Short R's, short O's. Okay, moving fifth is different than the fifth that we had on the basses. So these are a little bit more agile, or yeah, moving. These seem to not move between U and A, but E and A. And we have moving thirds. So they seem to be minor. And then we have moving seconds. And these sound amazing. So we go with wow. That is a sound I totally dig. Same thing, percussion. As with the basses, and then all these waves, and we have the soft ums as well. I want to put the soft basses on second patch and use the soft ums as well. Waiting for it to load. Why is it taking so long? I don't like that. Soft ums, here we go. So now we have both of them playing at the same time. Me like very much. Breathy sustain, same thing for the tenors. I like that very much as a texture. If we combine that with, can I select multiple over the course of the pages? So if I do this, yeah. So these are both selected now. Now I have regular sustains and breathy sustains together. I still have the control for the ooh-ah on the sustains, right? I think there's a glitch. It does not show me the control because maybe because I chose the breathy sustains first. If I do it the other way around and select the sustains and then shift breathy sustain, no, it still takes that off. But I still have the control for the regular sustains. Then I could also layer that with the soft ms if I want to have an even thicker texture. Which means right now we don't have 4 people singing, but 12. 3 times the amount. And if we want to have 16 tenors smashing around, we'll probably add the improvs to that as well. And now we can go totally bonkers. Yeah, so the layering functionality is pretty cool. So lots of options to choose from, which brings us to Mrs. Altos. I'm guessing that these are Mrs. Don't know if there was a male counterpart singing alto as well, but I guess it were for women. Once they done loading, very beautiful. Let's check the legato on these ladies. Legato. There we go. And go with ah and bring back the reverb. So what I also like is the dynamic range. It's really, really wide. I mean, you don't get screaming from that, but I feel that this is really cool in terms of how much mileage you get out of that. So, and then in terms of other articulations, we have nearly the same ones, short R's. not really sure. That sounds like there's an ah hidden in the O's there. Maybe they just pronounced the O as an ah. Same thing, now it's moving between A and E on the vowel slider. And we have the breezy sustains again. These are the first, we didn't have these in the others. The stumps from the women sound more massive than the basses. Don't know why. Then we have the shorts ahs. I really like these short waves. Nice sound. And last but not least, obviously, the queens of the choir, the sopranos. The highest register, the violins of the human voice. Let's hear them scream their butts off. Or not. Let's legato these ladies. Yes, that sounds like there's a legato transition missing. Well, no, it's just... It's there now. I don't know what there was before. And with ah, we have... And then a lot of the stuff that we had in the tenors, moving seconds, that might sound a little rubby with the higher pitches. Actually, does sound really cool. I want to put this together with the episodes on F major and moving seconds. Let's see what that sounds like. My camera doesn't work. What? Oh, that seems frozen. What am I gonna do? I mean, at least it's not like looking weird into the camera. So glad it caught a moment where I actually looked like I'm doing something. So first thing, I could either just turn it off. and probably just quickly gonna restart the camera. So now it's not working at all anymore. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the camera was weird. It's still, well, that's weird. So what I'm gonna do is I need to go in here. So sorry for a second. My mic will be gone. Okay, it looks like I need to, yeah, I need to finish off today without my beautiful face in frame. Well, I mean, I can still keep the still frame there. Let's make this very small. So there we go. Just a tiny little picture on the side. But we're nearly through. So that is the Alt Choir. We heard a lot of that. It sounds amazing, in my opinion. I really, really like it. There's fantastic demos on the website. There's more in-depth walkthrough on the Westwood page. I did post that in the chat. Thank you, Westwood Instruments, for sending this instrument over and letting me have a play with it. We will pretty soon have a dedicated Westwood stream with a bunch of more of the instruments where we try to write something. I want to try to use their Origin and the Rotor cello and yeah, some of their releases. We did a stream on Lost Guitar. There's some really amazing libraries that they have put out in the past year or past 2 years. So it might be good to really put them onto the spotlight or into the spotlight and have them do a little bit of a showcase with writing with Westwood Instruments. That's what I'm going to do very soon. Last but not least, what I want to look at today, something that was not sent to me from the devs, but I actually put down my money to it because I was taken from the marketing speech that Mr. Hansen is so known for and so good at. I bought glass strings. So let's take just a quick look at the instrument and see what this is all about and what it can do and what it sounds like and all the good stuff straight out of the box. Sending this to my string bus so we have a little bit of processing on the master, but nothing crazy other than that. Sounds straight out of the box. This is what it loads up. It comes in their own, so I'm talking about Crow Hill, the Crow Hill company, Christian Hansen's new simple adventure after Spitfire. And they release glass strings, which they claim and talk about, which is the definitive string library. At least that's what the marketing department says. And let's play a little bit with it and see how much it holds up to that. So here we go. First patch right out of the box. For you enthusiasts out there who already maybe talk or I don't know, say something about it. This is not an individual sections library. This is an ensemble patch. It's a very, very nice sounding ensemble patch with a bunch of tricks up its sleeve. So we have timbre control via mod wheel and expression via expression. And let's check out the dynamic range of some of the patches, or of this patch specifically, just playing some chords. There's a little bit of baked-in reverb, which we can turn off here. Chamber. Then we have 3 mic positions, close, wide, and ambient. Close. And ambient. And right now, we do have a bunch of different patches. So right now I'm playing the free bow, which is kind of sustain, but with free bow change and a little bit of movement in the patch. So playing this right now, let's get the chamber back in. It does sound really lovely, that reverb. But just play a G minor chord here. Listen to the movement in the notes. There's a lot of stuff going on. What we can add is a bass, which is not part of the regular patch. So the other patch, the ensemble, is cello, violas, and violins. So we can add a bass to that, which I like the fact that this is extra. Without the bass, with the bass. And we can change the position of the bass, left to right, and also the distance. So let's bring it close and bring it really loud and move it a little bit to the right. What I don't like, first thing that I'm mentioning, is I don't like that I can define until where I want the bass have played. So it's either all in or not. So I would need to have 2 instances of that instrument if I want to have, for example, if I have something in G minor and want to have the bass play up to the upper G and then have my chords above that. So now I'm playing the chords with the bass, which I don't want. So that to me is an oversight in controllability of how far I want to have the bass on the patch. Also, I don't like the fact that you, well, that I actually don't know. Can I listen to just the bass? No. So apparently I am not able to listen to just the bass. Which I don't really understand. I can only mix it into the mix, but I cannot get the bass on their own, which is kind of weird to me. Something I don't really understand. But anyway, last but not least, as a control on the interface, we have a bunch of typical things that allow us to shape the sound further. We have the stereo width. Down to very narrow, to very wide. We have a mono filter. I don't really know what this is doing. Let's see. I think it monos the low end. And the number here is the crossover frequency. Based on the looks of it, it looks like a low pass or a high pass filter. Yeah, it does sound like it gets rid of a little bit of low end. And then we have room tone. Whoever is gonna need that, but it's there. So in case you need it. Turn it on. Right, so let's get rid of that. No. And so far we only have played the free bow. There is quite a bit of more to that library. That will be unfair to just leave it there. I'm not really sure why the first patch loads with just one single articulation, and it seems I cannot load any other articulation, right? Oh, I can. I need to double click. Sorry. So let's have a look. What do we have? We have gestures, talking about these in a second. Long, sustain, free bowing, tremolo, circular bowing, sol tasto, sol ponticello X, tremolo, and harmonics. And then we have a bunch of shorts as well. So there is a lot more under the surface than it might look like on first sight. It downloads at roughly 18 gigabytes. So it's not that huge, but it's also not small, given it's an ensemble library. So let's load some presets. And these presets are separated in the following ways. We have Hollywood, which is a very broad, wide, lush mix. We have Media, which is a bit more narrow. Outer Space and Piano Rack. Gonna check out a few of these. And Honest is, I think, the driest. Anyway, let's listen to some of the Hollywood longs. And there now the matrix gets auto-populated with all the other long articulations that we just looked at in the list that we saw here. And we can see that the mix is a little bit different. No close. We have a hall instead of a chamber. We have the glass. Let's talk about this in a little bit. And then we have these different articulations. So regular sustain. Then the free bow that we just heard, but in a different mix setting. We have tremolo. As you can hear, there apparently is no round robin on these patches. Maybe there is on the sustains and free bow, I'm not sure. Doesn't seem so. Maybe on the shorts we will check that as well. We have circular. Soltasto. Remco, what about the vibrato? Apparently, as far as I can tell, there's no vibrato control whatsoever. You get what you hear. Then we have Soul Pond, which is played closer to the bridge, which gives you a little bit more hollow, scratchy sound. These sound really good. Pond X, which apparently is even closer to the bridge, so more scratchy. And it looks like I cannot combine articulations with shift clicking, so that would have been nice. Maybe use a little bit of scratchiness with the Sol Tasto. And we have harmonics, where you can see that the keyboard shifts in the upper range. There is a release control, I'm not really sure. Yeah. That gives a little bit more of release. Okay, these are the longs. Then we have, and just to get an idea, so these are the Hollywood longs, and then I have the honest longs or the media longs, which is basically the same set of sounds, just with a different microphone mix and effects mix. I personally don't really like the Hollywood mix, so honest, then we have media longs. And again, once more, the honest longs. These are the two I like the most. I haven't even touched the others. Outer Space longs. What's this doing? Okay, due to the reverb has more of a synth kind of feel, but with a very organic sound source. Then we have Piano Rec, which I haven't even looked at yet. So what this do? What this doing? And then we have a bunch of others. We haven't checked the shorts yet, so let's go back to media. I think media and honest are my favorite mixes. So let's go with media shorts, starting with Mercado. That sounds like 3 round robin to me. Then we have Tenuto. Now we have I think that's Staccatissimo. Staccato. I'm not sure. What is that? Staccato tasto. Okay. Yeah, staccato ponticello. Feathered, just feathered. Spiccato. Let's try these with the bass. I personally don't really like the high spiccatos. Starting around here, to me they sound a little bit too synthetic. I mean, they're like cut to the tail and to the front. They sound very synthetic to me. So I would always layer these with something else to make up for it. Jeté. I mean, I'm in Spain now, so it would be jeté. Ricochet. Not meant to play fast lines with that. All right, so that these are the shorts. Then we have Flux, which is pizzicato. They sound really good. Colenio. I like these. Bartok. Not really sure there's any round robin on these. Yeah, two times round robin at least. So these are the plucked ones. Then the other part of the library, which we haven't even looked at yet. So we have, first of all, what is extras? I haven't even checked. Individual. The individual. So yeah, basically, we have these gestures. Gestures are similar to the stuff that we just listened to in the Alt Choir, are movements within the node that are based on the key that you select. So I don't know why media does not have gestures, so we go with honest gestures. And here, which says shift, you can select the key that you're in. Apparently, I haven't even figured that out yet. I think it's major. So if I write something in B minor, I would have to set it to D major. Actually, let's try this. I want to go with E minor, so let's set this to G. And now we can see all the notes that are blue here. I have no idea what that means. So let's give it just a play. Play an E minor. Look, Mom, no hands. So this is what gestures are doing. Gestures are playing stuff on their own without you doing anything. You just hold down a note. So with a single E node, there was the loop point. So, and you have no control whatsoever when this is happening and when this is triggered and where it's going. So it's by random choice. Apparently Christian has built these upon his own ideas and desires of what he wants to have in a string section for his scoring work. And I think most of these work pretty well. But be aware that this is accident composing. It's not like you can tell the string section what to do or what you want them to do. You need to build your stuff. If you want to use these gestures, you need to build your stuff around what these gestures are doing. Otherwise, there might be clashes between your ideas and what the string section is doing. What is string section doing? Leapzilla. Let's go with G minor. So we put this on A sharp. And some of these gestures come in very far into the note. So, Octavia. I guess the name implies what this is doing. There it is, it's jumping an octave. And then we have rubbing. Rubbing, I like that a lot. It sounds very, mean. That's a nice one. Scoopy. I don't know. I mean, I can imagine that working nicely, especially some of these that are more subtle, but I don't know. I mean, some of these are simply beautiful. Let's be honest about it. That's very nice. And movements, let's change key here. Let's go with maybe D minor. This one's really cool. I can see a lot of use for that. And last but not least, next to the gestures, we also have motors. And again, the motors are only with the media, it seems. So I'm not really sure why these are only available in certain mixes. I gotta figure that out later. And we have maximum misaligned movements. And movements we just played. So that's part of the motors already. I don't think that this is tempo synced. If I go to 160. Now it's playing the same tempo. So definitely not tempo synced. Let's check the others. If I go to 160 on this. Okay, these are tempo synced. Yeah, would have to think hard of where I could use that. And the biggest problem I see with these is like, obviously you can write a beautiful cue with that, but that's it. You can write one cue, and if someone happens to write in the same key as you with the same library, there's nothing that sets you apart from someone else. It's just the same sound that you have. You really have to bury these far in the mix, and I don't know if it's that useful. So these phrases, as beautiful as they sound, for me, they seem hardly usable in any real life context, putting that into a cue. Not talking about the sustains and all the beautiful longs and evolving patches and things like that, but these motors, to me, seem very, very iconic in terms of their sound, so hard to use in any type of real life situation without risking of running into some content ID issues or things like that with someone else utilizing the same amount of samples. Don't get me wrong, they sound gorgeous. But if someone else is writing in 160 in C major, I'm screwed with content ID and possible client retribution asking me to whatever because their YouTube video get blocked because someone else had the right. Talking from experience here. So long notes I can see, but these dedicated movements where you cannot really change. What note doing? I would be careful with using that, as at least exposed in the track. So that shall conclude a little look at Crow Hill's glass strings. I don't regret buying these, absolutely not. I think they're really, really nice and have some cool sounds in them. Is it the definitive string library? I mean, it's marketing, you know. So if for him it's the definitive string library, all good, you know, just do it. But I couldn't survive with just that library alone. But thankfully, I have a few more to throw into the equation there and utilize them. That shall conclude. Sorry for the lack of picture there. I don't really know what's going on and why this is not showing anymore. But that shall conclude this little hands-on today and playthrough. Again, what we did was Porphyra. I have trouble pronouncing that name. I always want to say Polyphia for whatever reason. Porphyra, synth, Westwood Instruments, Alt Choir, and last but not least, we took a look at Crowhill's company Glass Strings. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, want to know something, or have suggestions for future streams, videos, etc., please leave a comment below. If you did like it, maybe show some love through the like button. It helps the channel. Thanks so much, and have a wonderful weekend. Bye bye.